Let the scroll be opened, not for applause, for warning. World governments, politics, rulers, and shadow rulers who never stand for counting. If freedom is preached so loudly, why do the streets keep learning the language of mourning? Why do rulers bless the cameras, then curse the unseen phone? Why do they crown themselves guardians while guarding only throne? Why do they call it public service when the public pays in bone? Why do they call it national interest when the nation stands alone? Why do they praise freedom in sermons, then sell it as a brand? Why do they build a cage from language, then call the cage a land? Why do they say obey for safety with a gentle open hand? Why does that hand close into law the moment you understand?
Who will win the war?
And therefore name the justice.
Who will lose the war?
And therefore carry blame.
If justice is a title,
that the winners keep to dress it,
then tell me what is justice?
when it changes with a name. Who writes the verdict before the trial is even done? Who edits the testimony until the truth cannot run? If truth is light, why must it beg to pass the gate? If lies are weak, why do they need them to govern state? Why do they erase the history, then call the gap peace? Why do they rewrite the chapter, then command you to release? Why do they burn the old records, then preach you must believe? Why do they seal the archives, then ask you not to grieve? Why do they rename the massacre as order being restored? Why do they rename the stolen as security ensured? Why do they call the rebels terror when rebels only asked? Why do they call the victims rumor when rumor wears a mask?
Who decides what you remember?
And what you must forget,
Who labels truth as danger?
then calls the silence best.
If history is a weapon,
Why is it held by few?
if a people are a body,
Why is the mind untrue? Why are normal people puppets, pulled by screens and fear? Why does the string look like a pinion while the hand stays near? Why do they feed the crowd a villain to keep the crowd divided? Why do they sell a culture war so class stays undivided? Why do they flood the day with noise till wisdom cannot stand? Why do they reward the loudest liar with a podium and band? Why do they call it balanced debate when facts are set on fire? Why does exhaustion feel like peace when it is only wire? A fool is not born, he is instructed. A man is not ignorant, he is exhausted. And exhaustion is the incense that makes a cage feel normal. Why do they speak of peace in daylight and ships steal at dusk? Why do they call it deterrence when it feeds the cannon's tusk? Why do they paint a war as mercy with diplomatic art? Why do they count the bodies later when the contract did its part? Why do they need an enemy each season to be feared? Why do they bless the battlefield, then act as if they cared? Why does peace become a slogan while budgets turn to blade? Why does grief become statistics once the headline starts to fade?
who will win the war?
And therefore name the justice,
Who will lose the war?
and therefore wear the blame.
If justice is a costume,
That the winners used to dress it,
then tell me what is justice?
when it changes with a name. World governments, politics, rulers who holds the hidden rod, shadow rulers who never kneel, yet teach the crowd to nod. If freedom is a promise, why does it come with chains? If peace is truly sacred, why does it profit from pain? So read the slogan slowly. Watch who sells you freedom like a product. Watch who calls you citizen, then treats you like a tool. And when the winners write the justice, ask what they erased first to make it look so clean.